Assalamualaikum and good day to our lecturer, Dr. Sharafi bin Ismail. Today I'm Nama Sarah binti Omar, matrix number 265674. We'll discuss about the ethics and accounting. So we will move to the next slide, which is the ethics and accounting. Ethics in accounting are concerned with how accountants make a good and moral choices in regard of preparation, presentation and disclosure of financial information. So these ethical codes are important to accountants in order to enhance their professions, to maintain public trust and to demonstrate honesty and fairness. So accountants must remain ethical to reduce issues that could lead to the criminal violence. We will move to the factor that could lead to ethical issue in accounting. First, the factor is a pressure from management. So a management may put a burden because they want to succeed at high levels. So they may place a stress or pressure to their accountants or other employees to create a good financial report on behalf of them. So in relation to that, ethical issue may be arise because accountant could easily alter the company financial reports to paint false picture of a company success. So we can take a look on Enron scandal that Enron faced an ethical accounting in year 2001. So this Enron scandal happens because of pressure from their shareholders, and the company executive began to rely on dubious accounting practice, including a technique known as mark-to-market accounting to hide their troubles. So this is because of the pressure from the Enron management. So we will move to the second factors, which is opportunity or grades. This opportunity or grades acts can be happen at all level of employee, including management itself. This is because they want to earn a better living and acquire more in the business. So we can take examples in Enron Company 2, which is Enron more concerns on their performance rather than protect their investor funds in the company. So the third one is the regionalizations of unethical act in financial records, which is in the company, they will normalize and feels like there's no wrongs with the unethical acts in financial records, which accountant may be asked to leave out certain financial figures from report that may paint the business bad side to the public or investor. So in Enron, we can see that Enron rationalized their employee to make a manipulation in their financial records. This is a types of ethical issue in accounting. First is a fraudulent financial reporting. This fraudulent financial reporting could be done by the company management, which is they will misstatement of the financial statement in intent to misleading the investor. So the effects of misleading financial reporting may boost a company share price, but it still give a long-term effect to their company. So we can take an example in Enron scandal, which is Enron faced an ethical accounting when they fake their profits and misuse of the special purpose entity in order to hide their huge debt from their investor. So Enron worked to make their losses look like less than they actually were and to make their income look much higher than it was. So it also can be looked at Andrew Fastow, an executive in Enron, who is a person who manipulated the financial numbers for Enron. So this could be same with the Arthur Anderson, which is the Enron auditor who helped Enron to cheat on its financial statements. So the second one is the misappropriation of assets. So mostly the company use asset for any other purpose than a company interest itself. So this misappropriation of asset can occur at nearly any level of the company entity. For example, that we can take is a senior level executive may use family dinner expenses and charge it in their company expenses. Types of the ethical issue in accounting is a disclosure violations. So disclosure violations is an error of ethical omissions. So in a company, there is important for management to protect the company information. However, if the information relates to a significant event and give impact to a company decision makings, it may not be ethical to keep this information from the investor. So we can take a look on Enron scandal, which is Enron hiding its huge amounts of debt from its investor. When the first time Enron facing the forced financial conditions, Arthur Andersen, who is the auditor of the Enron, never disclosed it to anyone. This is because of Enron is Arthur major client, so Arthur helped Enron to cheat on its financial statements, and Arthur determined to violates the standards. So from the ethical aspect, Arthur should have stopped this fraud early and disclosed it to SEC. But instead of that, Arthur chose to act illegally to earn profit on behalf of himself. So the fourth one is the penalties of violations. Under penalty of violations is allowed for harsh penalties for manipulating financial records and destroying information. So these penalties for violation of accounting ethic laws have increased greatly since the passage of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 after the case of Enron scandals in the year 2001. So under this penalty of violations, we can take a look in Enron scandal, which is Arthur Andersen destroyed many papers and documents of Enron after Enron scandal was disclosed. So it gives a difficulties for SEC to investigate of Enron frauds and unethical behavior that happens in the Enron scandal. For the conclusions, in the utilitarian theory, philosophers Ernie Bentham and John Stuart Mill argue that when we make a decisions, we should consider the interests of all the parties who are affected by our decisions and choose the actions which can maximize the benefits. So, for example, we can take a look in the case of Enron. We saw the weakness of humans being and the effects of the unethicals in accounting to the company and even to the career of themselves. So therefore, to avoid another Enron scandals, a company should consider whether they have a healthy business culture, whether they have a well-written codes of ethics and also follow the codes, and whether the employees and employer have enough knowledge about the business ethics. So that's all from me. Thank you.